So some people might show up and they're like, dang, that's a big deck. That's a big old deck. And then another guy might show up and he's like, dang, that's also a big old deck. And then, you know, knocking cards over here. Two more guys might show up and be like, dang, that's a big old deck. So this is the big deck. This is the deck that I play with my friends sometimes, my play group. And literally the format, it's kind of similar to a Dan format in Magic, if people know what that is, where we all share a deck and we all share a graveyard and all that stuff. My thing isn't focusing very well, so enjoy the 2003 graphics. But basically the rule of this deck is one of each card in the deck. We all share a deck, we all share a graveyard. And the only cards included in the deck are the cards that, if you notice here where my thumb is pointing, that have the 3 letters at the beginning there. They stopped doing that about GX era, I think. So like the thing is with this deck, it's difficult to do anything with. Because, you know, these sleeves are worn, like these are Dragon Shields, so they're still nice, but like they do have traction and it's still nothing. So I'm just gonna go through. None of these cards are for sale, for trade, or anything. I'm not buying cards. I'm not trading 4 cards for this deck. This is just kind of walking through some old cards and just enjoying it. Yeah, so it's literally just filled with trash. Most of the deck is garbage. If we get good cards, we put them in here. If my friends want to donate cards, they put them in here. But we have freaking Robo-Yaru in here. So it really doesn't matter. Battle Ox, you know. And this is literally just, we all sit down, we all draw our hands, and we get what we get. We can play with whatever rules that we want. There are some like chaotic trap cards that were made early on in the game that don't exactly interact well with this format, which is hilarious. Searching for cards is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the gameplay is literally just setting stuff and passing, but, you know, it's still 7-colored fish. The 7-colored fish has cursed me. Yeah, there are cards in here that don't synergize with anything. Like, I made sure to exclude cards that don't do anything or can't do anything, right? So, like, if I put Gravekeeper's cards in here, they're either going to be basically normal monsters, or they're going to be, synergizing with the 1 copy of Necro Valley in this several hundred card deck. So yeah, that's it for the normal monsters. Yeah, and again, we just randomly have decent cards. Like, this is literally just a secret lava golem that somebody got from their collection and decided to hand over, which was nice. So yeah, this is literally just goofy, stupid stuff, Karate Man. I try to prioritize cards that are in worse condition. Like, a lot of the stuff from this deck comes from, like, Magic philosophy, where older cards are history and we should still play with them and respect them, you know? Magician Faith is a good one. Keep sliding down. Yeah, Joujin, White Magical Hat, Royal Magical Library. See, sometimes you can make things work in this deck and it's stupid, but because you're playing with so many people and it's just so much chaos happening all the time, it just kind of revolves around luck. And the joy of the game kind of just comes in the chaos itself and playing just with a bunch of stupid cards and old cards that nobody cares about normally. It's more of an experience than it is a game, you know? Sangan, best card in the deck. You can time people out with this card. Swarm of Locusts, Dark Scorpion, Chick the Yellow, Mucus Yoke. Just garbage, man. It's mostly garbage. Wall of Illusion is fine, you know. Lord of D, we do have the Flute of Summoning Dragon, hallelujah. We do have Necro Valley, Big Eye. Not number 11, just Big Eye. Mystic Tomatoes, another amazing stall card. And it's just trash. You know, we have stuff like this where it's literally just somebody decided to, you know, make one of those truth-telling paper things with this card and sell it. So there we go. Chaos Sorcerer just hanging out. I don't have a lot of the super expensive ones just because I don't end up getting those, even though we have Lava Golem. Like, most of the cards that I get for this are just cards that people have in their collections that they sell or whatever, and just random stuff that I find or that people gift. I still don't have a lot of the iconic cards, mainly just because getting the iconic cards from this era is expensive. If they were printed in common for one of the structure decks or something, that's a lot easier to get my hands on. But my rule is that having to buy cards, like buy singles or whatever, kind of defeats the purpose of the deck. Like, the point of this deck is just to be trash, you know, bulk. Bulk that a lot of people just either want to give away or trade or, you know, sell or whatever. You know, cards that have seen some love at one point or another that we need to give a home, you know. And, of course, cards like Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity may never see play in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, so here's a place to play them, other than, you know, GOAT. But, of course, that has its price tag, too. I think, honestly, the most expensive part of this deck was this, getting the sleeves. Because, oh my god, we needed a lot of sleeves for this. Dragon Treasure, we barely have any dragons. Stuff like that. Yeah. There's a surprising amount of equipment in this deck. Snatch Steal. This card is garbage in this format, believe it or not, because you're never going to be able to steal anything good. I'd rather draw an MST than a Snatch Steal, to be honest. I'd rather draw a Heavy Storm than anything, any of the spell cards. Or like a Rush Reckless even, just to close out the game faster. It really just flips the meta on its head, you know, playing with such trash, because what are you going to Snatch Steal? Fucking Worm Drake? Sonic Duck? There's Necrovalley. You know, and they're gaining more life points than you're dealing in damage with that monster, so what's the point, you know? Even if you get Chaos Sorcerer, he's going to get destroyed in 2 seconds. So, again, it reduces the amount of competition and strategy in the game. I know that's what some people like about the game, but there's still, you know, a lot of fun to be had just with fucking around with your friends. Don't care about who wins or loses, just enact chaos. Like, there was one card in here, it's Convulsion of Nature, I think it is. It's a continuous spell where you literally have to turn the deck physically upside down and play with it that way. And there are some really interesting interactions that you can do. If you bounce stuff back to the top of the deck, you know, you have to see who's going to get it next. You can finesse cards into your hand that way. Yeah, here. So it literally, like, if this was the deck, you would literally go like this and continue playing. It's stupid, but it's perfect, you know? That's the philosophy behind this. It's just stupid but perfect. You know, cards like Pot of Greed, Reckless Greed, Graceful Charity, just good draw cards that would be amazing in any format. Torrential Tribute's still great because it's on-board interaction. But just draw spells you don't care about. Because, you know, again, what are you going to draw? Cyber Falcon? 1400 attack normal monster. Congratulations. Of course, we do have some good cards, and you can luck out and get some good cards, but a lot of the cards that you think would be dominant in this format, you know, are going to lose to Threatening Roar. Are going to lose to Magic Cylinder. You know? Trap Hole. Probably just good removal. Same with Raigeki Break. Like, it really just... there is, I guess, some strategy to the game, but it's very niche, and it's very, again, based on what you get. This card is crazy chaotic, because at the end of your opponent's turn means if you're playing with 4 people, this triggers 3 times before you get back to your turn. And you just, nobody can commit to the board because you destroy the thing with the highest attack. So by the time you get back to your turn, you have a board wipe. And it just keeps going and going and going and going, and it prolongs the game like crazy. Tower of Babel's another crazy one, because you can, you can have it go off and deal 3,000 damage to someone in one rotation. Ultimate Offering is crazy, because everyone goes to like 500 life points. Call of the Haunted is crazy, because you can take anything. Mask of Restrict isn't as crazy as you think it would be, because we don't actually have a lot of tribute monsters in this deck. But it's just a stupid fun format, You get to play with a lot of classic cards that wouldn't see play in any other format. It just gives these cards a home, and that's just kind of what I like about it. And that's, I think, what my friends like about it too, just the amount of stupid stuff that happens when you get to play with Opticlops and Chaos Sorcerer in the same deck. So yeah, that's it.